Welcome to Library Links from the Stoughton Public Library. I'm your host, Library Director Richard MacDonald. This is a show where we share what's new at the library and talk about what's going on around town. And my guest today is Amanda Bosky, Head of Youth Services at the Stoughton Public Library. Welcome, Amanda. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And today we're going to focus on not just youth services, but summer reading program. And that's something that it's going to be that time of year.
Yes.
So what's new this year? What's the theme?
Sure. This theme this year is Build a Better World. It's going both with the idea of helping out in your community, building a better world, and also the more practical theme of engineering and construction, things like that.
Now, these themes, where do these themes come from? Because I notice every summer there's a different theme.
Sure. Actually, it's a national theme picked by the Collaborative Summer Library Program, which is a national organization. And they create manuals for us with ideas for programming and different books to do. So everyone in the whole country who's participating is actually doing the same theme throughout the whole nation.
But you also have the option to vary things, right, according to what you might like?
We do, and some libraries don't use the theme, but we like the theme that they pick for us every year. So we tend to do the CSLP theme.
Very good. Now, we're going to come back to summer reading in just a moment. But for the rest of the year, for people that might not be familiar with your work, what else do you do at the library? You're head of youth services.
Sure.
What does that mean exactly?
Sure. So in youth services, we, of course, provide access to great books and materials. We provide story times and special programs for younger children, both in the library and also doing outreach to different 4Ks and preschools and child care centers in the community. We also work with tweens, children who are not children but also not quite teens yet, and we do some teen programming in collaboration with the adult services staff.
You mentioned an interesting word, and that's outreach. Now, that outreach, reaching out, but what does that mean exactly? It doesn't mean sending letters to people or calling people on the phone.
Right, sure. Librarians, we often talk about how the library is not just the building that you go to, which a lot of people think you go to the library. The library encompasses all the services that we offer as well. So what I do is I take my tote bag full of picture books and I go to a school and I read stories and sing songs with them, and the children really enjoy it. It's especially nice for families maybe that they have a hard time getting to the library because of work schedule. And so the children are still able to benefit from the library even though they might not be able to visit it as often as they'd like.
And when you do these things, when you do a story time, it's more than just reading a book. There's a idea and theory behind it too, correct?
Oh yes, definitely. We have a whole method for the way that we read books. We try to encourage children to participate. We try to talk about things like rhyming words. There's this, guess what's going to happen on the next page, which encourages children to think creatively and really expands their brains. And we kind of model that in story time too, and we hope that families take that technique home with them when they read with their own children and grandchildren and children in their care.
The library tries to offer a wide variety of programs for people of all ages, and the youth services programs are offered all year long.
Yes.
As long as we're talking about programs, I want to mention a program to people. If you're watching this before May 14th, which is Mother's Day, on that Sunday afternoon we're having the VSA Choir of Stoughton. They're going to be at the library doing a concert. That starts at 2 p.m. and that's a free concert. You can see the information about it on your screen right now. VSA Choir of Stoughton, Sunday, May 14th at 2 p.m. And if you've never heard this group, it's a really great group. It's made up of local residents, and they sing and they play instruments, and it's directed by a woman named Kim Weiss, and they just do a really good show. It's really worth attending. I'd suggest people come a little bit early, make sure you get a good seat. And that's part of our Music on the Mez presentation. But and we have those concerts throughout the year. And now we also have children's programs throughout the year.
Yes.
And for the summer programs, now you actually have more programs in the summer, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about some of those.
Yes, we definitely try to have a lot of programming going on in the summer. We have, of course, our summer library program where we encourage children and teens to read over the summer. We give them prizes, encourage them to come into the library as well. We try to combat what they call summer slide, where if you have worked hard in school all year and you've kept your reading up and then you don't really read very much over the summer, your reading skills kind of start to decline and go down. So we're trying to keep those reading skills on level during the summer so that people are ready for the fall when school starts back up.
And I've heard that's not just a theory either. It actually, there is really such a thing as losing those skills, and that studies have shown that students who read during the summer not only maybe keep those skills, but maybe gain more skills.
Right.
And the fact that they can do it at the local library makes it all that much easier for them.
And the cumulative nature of it, if you experience summer slide, by the time you get to 12th grade, the difference is very dramatic between people who have experienced it and who haven't as far as reading skills. So
right, because I suppose for someone that regresses in the summer, then they start the next year a little bit behind where they would, and then that kind of builds up.
Snowballs, yep.
I see, right. Yeah. Well, in addition to programs, we have lots of books and things going on, and I like to bring books to this show to share with people. One book I brought is something that would sure to interest everyone. It's about breakfast. So I hope everyone had time for breakfast this morning before you, after you got up. Not before you got up, but after you got up. And this is a new book called Rise and Shine, Better Breakfasts for Busy Mornings. There you see it on your screen. It's by Katie Sullivan Morford. And it's, as I said, it's a new book, and it's an answer for everyone who's ever struggled to get breakfast on the table and to get people to actually eat it. It's kind of aimed at parents who are trying to get their kids ready for school. It has 75 breakfast recipes that are entry-level easy, with at least half requiring no more than 5 minutes of hands-on prep time. That's important for breakfast, especially for breakfast. And every delicious recipe is an exercise in good nutrition and good taste. The author is a nutritionist, and she has 3 children. And as it says in the book, this book arms parents with tips, recipes, and inspiration for making a nourishing breakfast doable and delicious. So Rise and Shine is made for busy families and busy mornings, so that when breakfast isn't the priority, you can still eat something to start your day off right. Sounds good to me. It sounds delicious.
Yes.
And it's full of interesting pictures, and it's available at the Stoughton Public Library. So I'll have to make sure I return it now after this. After giving it talking about it, I have to make sure. And this author was also the author of a book called The Best Lunchbox Ever. So we'll have to hunt that one down.
Yes.
So that one's probably checked out at the moment. Amanda, did you want to talk about any books today, too?
Sure, I had a few that I wanted to talk about. The first one is one of my new favorite picture books. It's called Laundry Day by Jessica Bagley. First thing that grabbed my attention when I bought it was that there are badgers on the front.
I see that.
There are not a whole lot of books for children that have badgers in them, so I immediately liked it because of that, and so do the children. But in actually reading the book, as a librarian, I really like when picture books work on multiple levels. So this is a really fun group read aloud. I've read it aloud to several groups of 4- and 5-year-olds. It's 2 mischievous little badgers who are bored, and they decide to help their mom do the laundry, hang it out to dry on the line. And mom says, you guys are doing such a good job. Let me go shopping and you can finish this. Well, they finish all the laundry, and then they decide to start hanging up other things. And they hang up everything in their whole house. And it's hilarious by the end of the book. The kids love it. I like it because it works really well for a group read aloud, but it also works really well for one-on-one and for rereads. I will challenge the people watching to find the little hidden mouse in the picture on the cover that you see on your screen.
I think I see it.
The little mouse is on every page, and there are lots of little details like that, so it's really rewarding for rereading, talking about all the things that they've hung up, and looking for that little mouse on every page. This book is just delightful, one of my new favorites.
So what do you mean when you say it's multiple levels, multiple...
Sure, just that it's kind of rare to find a book that works for a big audience, where they're not really seeing the pictures up close, and that also works for that, sitting one-on-one with a child on your lap to look at all the little details. I think the author, who is also the illustrator, did a really fantastic job of kind of hitting both of those levels. So.
Very good, very good. Well, with summer approaching, summer and preceded by spring, everybody's thinking about lawn care. So if you have a lawn that you have to care for, I wanted to share this book. It's called Better Homes and Gardens. And if it's from Better Homes and Gardens, you know it's going to be a good one. It's the step-by-step yard care. It covers lawns, ground covers, trees, and shrubs. There it is on your screen, Better Homes and Gardens, Step-by-Step Yard Care. And this is one that it's loaded with color photographs, and they talk about 50 yard care techniques and 100 time-saving and weather-related tips from garden experts. The book's organized according to whether you have a regular lawn, a traditional lawn, and some sort of alternative, trees or shrubs. And it gives you information if you're just starting out, maybe if you're doing it by seed or if you're going to put down sod, how to repair a damaged lawn, so just everything you might want to know. And there's also alternatives to traditional grass, focusing on ground covers, vines, and especially important section on planting on a slope. I don't know if we have that many slopes in Stoughton, but a lot of towns, there's a lot of hills where the residential areas are. There's also a section specifically on trees and shrubs, how to choose them, how to plant them and care for them, and information about walks and walls and fences and things. Like I said, it's Better Homes and Gardens. It's just loaded with stuff, and we have loads of Better Homes and Gardens books at the library on all sorts of things. So this is our step-by-step yard care. And I should mention one other thing. At the end of each chapter, there's a checklist of related chores for both northern and southern regions of the country. So I don't know if people want to be told what chores they have to do, but it might come in handy sometimes. So that's one certainly worth trying, and we have lots of other ones there too. Now you brought along another book to share too, didn't you, Amanda?
I did. This one's kind of going in a different direction. This is a book that's recommended for middle school. It's called The Crystal Ribbon by Celeste Lim, and it's kind of a historical fantasy story. It's about a girl who's 11 years old. Her name is Jing, and her family is very poor, and they basically sell her to be a bride of a 3-year-old boy,
Okay.
which means she's his nursemaid, basically. So she's not super happy with this situation, so she tries to run away. And I always think historical fantasy is interesting when you take a historical time and you add some fantastic elements in it. So the story is her journey of escape, and it's kind of a coming of age story. And she's helped by a spider and a nightingale in her journey to escape this kind of not great situation. The review said it's a dark, complicated story, so it's definitely not for a super sensitive reader. But I know when I was a kid, I loved to read stories of people, especially children, really struggling and overcoming and triumphing in the end. So I think for the right reader, this would be a really great story.
Sounds like a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And you say it's fantasy. It reminds me that I want to tell people we have a science fiction and fantasy book discussion group at the library. We alternate. It's mostly science fiction, but we've had a number of fantasy books this year. We read The Last Unicorn. But coming up in June, if you're watching this show in May, the meeting would be on the first Wednesday of the month. That would be June 7th. And we're going to be talking about the unconventional science fiction of Kurt Vonnegut Jr. So we're taking our pick. Everybody's going to read one of his novels, and it's a choice of 4, either Play or Piano, The Sirens of Titan, Cat's Cradle, or Slaughterhouse-Five. And I guess Vonnegut didn't think he was a science fiction writer until the reviewers labeled him as such. So that must have been a surprise to him. So if you've just joined us, you're watching Library Links from the Stoughton Public Library. I'm your host, Library Director Richard MacDonald, and with me today is Amanda Bosky, Head of Youth Services at the library. And we're talking about books and library programs and summer reading program. And let's talk a little more about the summer program. So what are some of the things you might have planned for this summer, some of the specifics?
Sure thing. Well, one of the most important things is the date that the summer library program runs. It's going to start on Saturday, June 3rd, and it's going to end on Saturday, August 12th. So we're giving everybody a nice long time to get their reading in. So Saturday the 12th will be the last day to turn in hours to get prizes that day.
How does that work? You read a book or have a child has a book read to them, and then what?
Sure, we give people really simple reading logs. We don't want to make it complicated. It's just time spent reading. So we're asking people to track hours spent reading, and depending on the age of the child or the teen, they get different prizes at different milestones that have been completed. So.
And how many, do they come in, how many of those do they receive?
Sure, it depends on the age. We have different prizes for the younger children and for the teens. So just ask when you sign up. It'll all be on the reading log that you receive. We have our old favorite prizes like passes to Eichster's Petting Farm, and the teens get a Fosdel's donut coupon, and of course everybody, children and teens, get a free book when they finish the program.
Very good. And we haven't forgotten the adults either, because for several years now we've had summer reading for adults. The adult one works a little bit different. There's no logs to fill out. It's kind of a voluntary thing. If you want to make a note of a book you've read, and then we should post it on the front of the desk upstairs. We'll have more details for you as the summer draws near, and you can just go upstairs to the upper level and learn all about it then.
Right. And the Teen Summer Library program has also changed. It's almost like a hybrid between the children's and the adult. In addition to getting your coupon for the donut and the book at the end, the teens will also have weekly drawings. One of our adult services staff, Cynthia, has really worked hard this year to revamp it. And she's got all kinds of fantastic prizes lined up and all sorts of great ideas for programs. So it's going to be extra exciting for teens this summer.
Very good. And you know, before we go any farther, you were telling me about a video that we'd like to share with people about the summer reading program. Could you tell us anything about this?
Sure. Through the CSLP, we have a video that talks a little bit about what the summer library program does, and it has a special message from Kwame Alexander, who was a Newbery Award-winning author, and he's the host of summer reading program this year. So
very good. Let's take a look at that video, and then we'll be right back with you. Sure. Thank you.
Summer is a great time to build and create and have fun with friends. Your local library is the perfect place to help your imagination take off. Join us this summer for books, movies, music, activities, and fun. And together, we can build a better world.
Remember, the library has plenty of activities just for kids all summer long as part of the summer reading program, and it's 100% free. We'll provide books, movies, apps, toys, music, and art supplies. You provide the imagination and get ready to have fun. So come on down. In fact, bring your friends and we will read, play, create, discover, and build a better world this summer at your library.
Okay, so what did you think of that, Amanda?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it. When Amanda had me watch that first, it was a great one.
Yes.
So, I want to share a book. You know, we talked about breakfast earlier. I want to share this book about how to grow food, because many people, this is the time of year people are planting gardens, not just flower gardens, but they're vegetable gardens. So How to Grow Food is a step-by-step guide to growing all kinds of fruit and vegetables. And basically it covers, just what the title says, it covers all sorts of things, whether it's leafy greens, or there's a strawberry on the cover, root vegetables, everything you can imagine for your garden, locations. And this is subtitled A Step-by-Step Guide to Growing All Kinds of Fruits, Vegetables, Herbs, Salads, and More. So it's a new one, and it's a good one. So it'll be available to check out at the library. And Amanda, you have something you want to share too. Again, another?
I do. I have another book that I'm really excited about. It's called Waking in Time by Angie Stanton. And not only is it a great book, it's set at UW-Madison.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and it's a time travel story. So it's about a girl who starts her freshman year at UW-Madison. She falls asleep on her first night in her new dorm in the present day, and when she wakes up the next morning, it's 1983.
Wow.
She meets and falls in love with a time traveler, Will, who started in 1927 as a freshman, and he's traveling forward in time.
Wow.
So the two of them have to find a way to meet up with each other somewhere in the middle and not lose touch with each other, figure out the mystery of why they're time traveling. Angie Stanton is a local author. She actually went to high school here in Stoughton. We've had her come do author visits, and a few high school friends came. So if you heard her name and your ears perked up, yes, it's the Angie Stanton you probably went to high school with here in Stoughton. I recommend this not only for teens, it's a teen novel, but I think because of the local interest, a lot of adults would really enjoy it too. So.
Wow, we'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Anything else for today?
Those are the only books I brought, but I'm happy to talk about more summer programs.
Yes, please.
Sure, yeah. I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. We received a great grant from the Madison Community Foundation to have a little something extra on our summer reading program kickoff day. So we have hired a magician, Nikki Finn, to come 2 to 4 p.m. on the first day of the summer reading program, which is Saturday, June 3rd. And he's not going to be doing a magic show. He's just going to be in the children's department, strolling around they call it strolling magic, where he's just kind of in the crowd. You can see the magic tricks up close. If you took our magic lessons last summer, Nikki Finn was the one who taught them, and he's going to be just doing magic tricks up close. So be sure to come during that time. And even if you're a grown-up and you want to come down to children's and see some magic, you're welcome to come down.
Yeah, he's good, very
Yes,
popular.
yes.
Yeah, so I'd recommend it. Yeah. So, and anything else?
Sure. Lots of other programs, of course. We don't have time to talk about everything today, but probably one of the most important things is our finale. We always have a big celebration at the end of the summer, and we have, it's going to be on August 15th in the evening. Culver's gives free custard and sundaes, and we also have a special act. It's someone coming all the way from Florida with her poodles, Michelle's Magical Poodles. We're going to have a dog performance at the summer reading program finale. I am a big dog lover, so I am really excited about this.
Don't want to miss that.
We don't want to miss that.
That should be something.
Yeah, and it is a celebration for people who've done the summer reading program, but we're not going to be at the door saying, show us your reading log. It's for anybody who wants to come. So we hope that everybody comes and enjoys our little picnic beforehand, thanks to Culver's, and then enjoys the Michelle's Magical Poodles.
Nice. We also have our mystery group that continues throughout the summer. It meets the second Thursday of each month. June 8th will be the Dublin Murder Squad, stories by Tana French. And July 13th, we're looking at medieval mysteries from various authors. And then on August 10th, we're all going to be reading the same book, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. And so that's one that's been around for many years, Spy Who Came In From the Cold. John Le Carre, who won an award in 1965 for that, for Best Mystery.
Nice.
So the readings in these groups, both of the groups I've mentioned, are chosen by the participants. So that's one way to get people to come to a particular meeting, saying, we're going to choose a reading for next year. So then people show up. So very good. Anything else we should share about summer reading?
Sure. We actually have another video message that's designed more for parents and teachers. So I'd love to share that with everybody. It's another video from Kwame Alexander.
Yes, we're going to look at that after we close.
Okay.
And so I should say that it's actually time to close now. And so since we're about out of time for today, I want to thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank everybody out there for joining us today. You know, there's more going on at the library than we can ever talk about in just one TV show. And that's why we want you to visit the library. It's at the corner of Main and 4th in downtown Stoughton, just west of the Clock Tower. And we're open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 9, and also Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5. We're open on Sundays, 1 to 5, up in through the end of May. And then in the summer, we're closed for the Sundays, and then we're going to open up again after Labor Day in September. So anything else we should add? Facebook?
Right, we're on Facebook.
We have an active Facebook page. How many posts a week do you think we have? New posts?
We usually do about 1 post a day.
Yes, and those posts are not only just posts about what's going on at the library, but interesting things in the library world or the book world and the reading world, all sorts of interesting things. Library lore sometimes, history of the library. So those are popular. And we have our website at stoughtonpubliclibrary.org. So you can visit us there. We'll see you next time at the library. But don't go away. There's this interesting video that Amanda was just telling us about. And thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, I'm Kwame Alexander, the recipient of the 2015 Newbery Medal for my novel, The Crossover. I'm a poet, a writer of books for children, and I spend much of my time visiting schools, talking to students of all ages about the power of words and writing. I'm also serving as the summer reading champion for this summer. And I'm so excited to do so because it gives me the opportunity to reach more teachers, more librarians, and more parents like you, and share what I feel is one of the secrets to our future. The mind of an adult begins in the imagination of a child. And all of us have the power to facilitate that imagination and discovery. We have the power to make or break young people with our words and our actions. One important way that we can do this is to lead them to books. Books open up doors of possibility, potential, and purpose, and allow children to imagine a better world for themselves and for us. The Collaborative Summer Library Program and its member libraries want you to lead children to books this summer and all year long. And they have lots of great programs, activities, and resources to help make reading fun, to help make it exciting, and to find the right book for each child. Because books will allow children to not just imagine a better world, but to build it.